Hello and welcome,
The wrong way. Face the other way. Turn around.
Oh. Cześć i witam, moi drodzy modelarze, na My Small Hobby YouTube channel. Mam na imię Tomo. Czekać. Me. Ah, much better. So, hello again. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing Arma Hobby models.
Arma what?
Arma Hobby. It's in eternal. No, this is not a sponsored video. I've just found out about the company a while ago through one of my customers. A big shout out to Alesh Pershin for telling me about them, and checked out their webpage and their offering and thought, well, why not buy some kits? In front of me right here are some boxes that contain 4 kits that we are going to be taking a look at today. A little bit about Arma Hobby. They are a Polish-based company. They've been around since 1998, and they're basically enthusiasts who decided to make specialized parts for kids, just like Edward, like photo etch parts, resin parts, and all that stuff. But they kind of grew into the model making company, and well, I wish them all the best, because the things that I'm going to show today are absolutely fantastic. Because they are a relatively new scale modeling company, they don't have really a big repertoire of new model kits. Their repertoire of kits seems to revolve around PZLs, Hurricanes, Corsairs, and Iskra planes, which is basically all that they have in different versions, in different setups. So the kits come in these kind of boxes, as you can see here, and they basically are standard, like, you know, plastic parts, or expert, which also has some PA parts and masks. Then they have a deluxe, which also has some resin parts, and that in 1/72 scale, which is crazy to think about that. A lot of mainstream model makers or manufacturers of models do kind of struggle with 1/72 scale details, because again, they're small and it's really debatable what can be seen at such a small size. So I think that Arma Hobby does make a very compelling argument what they show and how they show it, and as you'll see in the video, they're absolutely fantastic. The kits do have some faults. They have some flash here and there, but it's not really a big deal. Their older kits, such as the Iskra and the PZL, do have a little bit of a flash thing going on, but their newer models that they have recently released are faring much better in this respect. So all that it's left now is for us to jump in the boxes and see what's inside. But before we do that, I would like to say, please share, like, and subscribe if you like this kind of video. It helps me out, and it tells me if you actually like this kind of stuff. Also, I will leave a timestamp description down in the comments below, so you'll see which model starts at which time if you don't want to watch the whole video. But if you want to binge watch, go right ahead. That's what the video is for. Let's start.
And let's begin. Let's start with this lovely Yakovlev Yak-1B in 1/72 scale. As you can see, the paint schemes are on the back, and inside the box you get some sprues, some stickers or decals, and instructions. All of these models that you'll see today are absolutely fantastic in their detail. I'm using a very good macro lens from Canon to show you all the nooks and crannies on these wings and all the surfaces of the aircraft. As you can see, the detail is absolutely ludicrously fantastic. And this is, I believe, one of the more newer ones, because there is not a lot of flash. And as you can see, I mean, it just speaks for itself. The attachment points on certain parts are not that great, to be honest, especially on the propellers, as you'll see. But I mean, it's really just nitpicking now. Here are all the little details, as you can see. I mean, really, the plastic is nice and soft. It's truly remarkable. And even the tires, look at this. These tires have actual writing on it that you can read up close with threads and everything. And it's just, wow. Here's some landing gear. And then we'll see some cockpit stuff like the pedals, the joystick, and the antenna, and the back wheel as well. This model is represented by 1 star on the box, which means that it can be tackled by a beginner. It has really a low part count, and the instructions, as you'll see in a minute, are absolutely fantastic as well. Very nice, very clear, and really no problem at all. Here we can see the canopy and the instrument panel in clear parts, and just fantastic. It's very clear, very sharp, really fine detail. The details on the stickers or decals is also fantastic. Here's again a close-up shot of all the decals. Now I'm gonna be skipping ahead a little bit, but you can see even the minute text can be seen, and it's just wow, fantastic, fantastic. Now it can be a little bit daunting to put all these stickers on, but once they are on there, they do really add up to the model. The instruction manual for all the models displayed is fantastic as well. Very clearly laid out. You see the breakdown of sprues, and the symbols are very nicely presented. And here actually you have templates you can cut out for masking the wheels if you don't want to fiddle around with, you know, scraping off with the toothpick or something. And you see it's a very simple, almost Lego-like design, and really easy to follow. So I don't know how the construction of the stuff goes together, but I'm really tempted to build one. So if you want me to build one, do leave a comment below which of these planes you want me to build. Here we see some paint schemes, and really fantastic, fantastic detail, fantastic manual. Now let us turn our attention to this rather lovely Hurricane Mark II C Tropical Edition. The model number 70037. It's 1/72 scale model with a beautiful paint scheme, you can see in the back. So 2 types of decals and 2 types of paint schemes. The breakdown of the box will reveal the usual, only 1 sprue, and decal sheets and the instruction set. Just like I've mentioned before, the detail on this Hurricane is superb. And you'll see the close-up shots where you can see raised detail like the rivets, and panel lines do not seem to be exaggerated too much. They're not very deep, but they're not very pronounced in your face. But if you take a very close look, you can see so much stuff. And this is the undercarriage, so the wheel assembly where, you know, the wheels live when they're folded on. And here on the edge you can see a little bit of a flash on the wing, but it's really just, again, nitpicking. Nothing too really bad or worse or horrible. And the plastic is very fantastic to touch. Like I said, it's a little bit more like almost like a rubbery feel on the plastic. It's textured as well. Here we can see some wheels again. We have the depression in the wheels as the plane can be depicted in the landing position, and you see the Dunlop logo ones, which is incredible. I don't know if that's actually feasible or not in such a small scale, but I know I don't mind the detail. People who love 72nd scale, just, you know, they have a big treat for them. You can see this rather lovely fuselage of the Hurricane, and here we see their solution for mounting the propeller. I'm skipping a little ahead to, you know, to shorten the video because I don't want to make it too long, but you can see the detail is there. It's fantastic. Here are the clear parts as well, very fine, very clear, very well made. There's no cracks, there's no scratches. One thing I would like to see in the future kind of kits is that the clear parts should be in their separate bags, because in certain cases when the box is handled, you know, they can get scratched. The decal sheet again is pretty substantial. You have lots of markings, very fine markings, readable text, fantastic detail. Really, it's just great. I mean, it shows that they do love the hobby. They want to make this as best that they can with the technology they have, and I think that they're making a very good choice in representing every single thing. Here we can see, of course, the instruction manual, and here we can actually see the real colors which are used to paint this model. And again, you can use these templates to cut out masking film to paint the canopy, so you don't have to scratch out paint. Just like in the previous kit, the model instructions are fantastic. They really made an effort to make them as simple as possible, colored, so that, you know, even the beginner gets psyched to build this model. And here we are going to be taking a look at the expert set of the PZL P.7A. This is a plane that's probably not that, you know, common or very desirable to build because it's kind of odd, but they really made an effort here with the P parts and masks, and you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. The detail is just fantastic. Fantastic. These are, I believe, might be the more earlier kit because it has a little bit more flash. You can see, and the attachment points here are, it's funny, here are a little bit better than on the newer ones or vice versa, but you can be the judge of that. The detail is, again, great. Maybe a little bit exaggerated in some points, but still not bad at all. I mean, look at that. You can see the ribs, you can see the texture. The plastic on this particular model is a little bit thicker and a little bit more glossy and shiny, so it's not the same plastic that they used in the previous version that we've just seen. But it's not lacking in detail, and even the cockpit in this small scale is pretty well defined and represented. You can see the engine, which is pretty big in this airplane, and some basic wheels that need to be cleaned up on the edges. Here we can see some bullets for the magazine, that for the machine gun on the top, and this is the inside of the cockpit, which is very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a expert set, which means that the box is marked with 2 stars, and you get this lovely photo etch part which can be inserted in the plane and enhances the overall look of the plane with all the various details. With it, you also get this very lovely mask, so you can paint the wheels and the windows. The windows here in clear, not very big, because, you know, the plane is not very big. And the decal sheet again is a little bit smaller because the plane is small and there's not a lot of markings, but the markings that are present are fantastic, as you can see from this very lovely close-up. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Lovely birds, lovely steins, lovely markings, fantastic. The cockpit, you can either build the cockpit with the photo etch, or you can just plop a sticker in it, you'll be done. So you have options. Just like with the previous kits, here is the instruction manual, fantastic. Some history in the top, some details of the airlane, the breakdown of the sprues, and the colors that are used to paint the model itself. The model's breakdown and how it's assembled is easy to see, very clearly defined, and I think that, again, a beginner can tackle this model, but probably not the expert set. But even if you buy an expert set, you can just skip the photo etch and just build the model without them, and will be just fine. And the paint schemes on the back, colored, fantastic. And here we have the creme de la creme, the TS1 Iskra BIS DF deluxe set, which is kind of expensive, 60 euros, but you get 2 planes. 2 planes, yes, inside you have 2 sprues containing, well, basically 2 planes, you'll see, along with photo etch parts, decals, and masks, and resin parts. Oh yes, baby, this is where you get the resin parts. So for that money, well, basically you're paying 30 bucks for each plane. That's basically it. Of course, I'll be showing you only one set of sprues because the other one is exactly this identical. So here it is, the fuselage, nice and long, very good. You see the cockpit on top with some details, which again in this scale is fantastic, I think. And I think this is one of their first models that they've made. So I think that for a first model in the company this young, you gotta give them you know, respect and recognition that they deserve. And I'm not just, you know, tooting their horn, but I really do appreciate that they make this effort to make a model as close to real as possible in such a small scale. Yes, here you can see much more flashing than on other kits, but still, I mean, come on, it's 7-second scale, what do you expect? I do have to remind you again that this is a 1/72nd scale model, and I'm using a macro lens to film this. Otherwise, when you take a step back and look at the model, those panel lines are very small, very small. The only disappointment is this internal cockpit area, but again, 70-second scale, fine. Here is a little bit of a scratch, but okay, it's fine. And this is a very generous photo etch portion of the aircraft build. Again, you get 2 parts, 2 planes, everything is doubled, so you can really go to town on both airplanes, making them as detailed or as not detailed as you wish. You know, it all depends on you. Here is the masks that come with the kit. They're black, stickers, put them on, be done. The instrument panels on clear plastic, and now we come to the good part, the resin parts, the seats, the wheels, and the pedals. Look at that, fantastic. It does need a little bit of a cleanup, but oh my god. Again, this is 70-second scale, this is crazy, this is really small. And you can use either these wheels that come in resin, or you can go with the ones that are in the plastic mold, so you can choose. The decal sheet for this one is again a very substantial, because you have I think 3 or 4 versions of this plane, so you can choose which of the 3 or 4 you will build. The text is numerous and very well, you can read it in the macro lens without any problem. I think the decals are just fantastic on all 4 model kits, and very vivid colors. I hope they go on well. I'm pretty sure they do, because the attention to detail is just so fantastic. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one to a beginner, but if you skip on the photo etch stuff and resin stuff, I think even a beginner can build one and be happy with the result that he gets, because again, the instructions, they're fantastic. Really, if you ever play with Legos, wow, you're just gonna love it. I mean, look at that, it's clear as day, fantastic. And I'm really tempted to build one of these, because when I was doing research and reviewing these kits, it just got my juices flowing to build one. So if you want to see a build of one of these kits, do leave a comment below and tell me which one you want me to build, and I will gladly do it. I really will, so please tell me which one. Help me. Okay, so that's basically it. Back to me again in the studio. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.